If you see it in your hearts, please utilize the resources available to you and help out our brave pilots. Right now they are flying east to meet the enemy.
To those who still dare to hide behind the power of their hateful weapons, bring yourself before the light of peace and harmony.
I am Thomas Myers, and we will now be discussing the media networks surrounding the long-running video game series, Ace Combat. The series has spawned many official and phatic networks and has a vibrant fan following. This video will focus on 3 of those spaces in particular, and how their features enable these fan communities to grow and interact using the concepts of how these networks develop and operate. They will be analyzed as to their framework, discussing human and digital actants, as well as how they act in conjunction to become trans-platform fan enclaves. The first network is YouTube, a video sharing site and giant public internet space, which is used by both the official game production team and fans. The ability to live stream discussions to fans creates somewhat of a virtuous cycle of engagement. That capability, the free usage, and low barrier to entry are likely reasons why it is used for these purposes, although there is also a consumer aspect of it as well, given that certain channels can be monetized. YouTube is also one of the world's largest and most used websites, serving as a repository of culture and of a mirror of the public square. This repository is important for the Ace Combat fandom, because as much as there is a centralized identity of the community, it can be found on here. Whether that means as simply enjoying playing the games, or offering a scholar-like commentary on the series. Access to this information is necessary because it can introduce new fans without the high investment costs of gaming equipment or the games themselves. Here is an example of both kinds of community signifiers. An official advertisement for a DLC that plays heavily on nostalgia, and the creator known as Ace Combat Fan engaging in a bit of levity as he discusses the background of the series.
Times that they start another war and another war, but that's all lies, and I'm here to show you the truth behind Belka's actions, because Belka did nothing wrong, and I'll also show you who is behind these lies. Obviously, the enemy of the people, OBC.
The next social media site where these networks exist is Reddit, which as a site is somewhat democratized. It offers short-form content that is mostly text-based and relies on community likes and dislikes to drive the popularity and views of posts. Using Masanari's framework to describe how a given network uses a platform, we can say, a platform's strength as a theoretical framework is that it sensitizes us to the often unintended consequences of non-human actants. Bots, scripts, algorithms, policies, and the ways in which they shape online cultures. In this case, it's Reddit's affordances and policies that are the main digital actants here. By allowing each individual page to run its own moderation, that allows for some manner of individuality for the network. Of course, that means there's always the risk of inappropriate content on the broader Reddit site, but the Ace Combat network is a wholesome one overall, with plenty of memes, helpful posts, and occasionally news about real-world aviation, such as the fake story of the Ghost of Kiev that was making the rounds of the internet in the early days of the Ukrainian invasion. Taken together, These affordances and practices creates a strong digital enclave for fans. The non-human actants do play a role, such as algorithms pushing popular topics to the front of the homepage, but the users themselves take charge as the primary drivers. The most liked post seen here happens to be a humorous one that blends a mission from the series with a widely circulated scene from the animated adaptation of Invincible. The last network is found in fan-created spaces, such as the website Skyward Flight Media. The cornerstone is collaboration and integration, more of a workspace. On the site, the users banded together to translate a country-specific piece of content to broaden the reach of fandom and introduce it to new avenues. The site also integrates social media and other pieces of fandom, thereby making it a trans-platform space and strengthening the ability to access the network for new fans. As Dr. Florini explains it, if a network public is comprised of both a digitally enabled space and the collective that is formed and maintained in that space, then the distributed and trans-platform nature of this collective requires that the space of the public also be conceived of as trans-platform. Skyward Flight Media embodies this framework in the digital arena through that content integration. Also, it is a global one with imagined affordances that can evolve over time. The website Fandom is a similar digital space, but one that is directly focused on different topics, and Ace Combat has its own entry. To wrap up, FADIC networks allow for a powerful community space across the digital divide. The Ace Combat series fandom is one such exemplary network that takes advantage of online spaces to celebrate the games and create interactions in the global online space. The fans take full advantage of the posting ability to share ideas, thereby driving engagement. Or to borrow a catchphrase, to ask, "Yo buddy, still alive?"